Hi, I'm Nita, and welcome to the Taylr'D Table. Today we are making a homemade pasta with a Bolognese sauce. So today we're going to make a homemade pasta with a beef Bolognese sauce. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to make the pasta. So I'm going to start with 2 cups of flour, and I'm going to put it right in the middle. And what you're going to do is make like a mold here, or make a tunnel in here. Sometimes I use this to kind of get my tunnel in there, because I want to put my eggs in here, but I don't want my eggs to slip everywhere. Okay, and so I'm going to gently add my eggs in, kind of stirring as I go to mix that flour in with my eggs. And just start folding it in until it starts coming together. It's going to be a little messy, but that's okay. So now I have my ball together. And it's bouncing back like I want it. So this is going to have to rest for a little bit. You just can't start making your pasta. You need to let that gluten kind of rest a little bit. So I'm going to spray a little olive oil on it. Rub it all around. And if you have some like plastic wrap, you can take the plastic wrap and put it on top of it. I don't have any, so we're going to make do. So I have this Glad freezer bag. I'm gonna get all the air out of it. And I'm gonna let this sit for at least 15 minutes, and we're gonna make our sauce while we're doing that. Okay, now I'm gonna start on my Bolognese sauce. So I'm gonna get my tomato sauce started. The Bolognese literally starts with oil, some type of fat. Some people use bacon fat, but I'm going to use olive oil, and I'm going to put in the 3 main ingredients, which is like your onion, your carrot, and your celery. So the first thing I'm going to do is add some olive oil to this pan. And I'm going to saute some onions first. I'm gonna add 1 celery. I got that diced up. And 1 carrot. I'm also gonna add some of my Bella blend. This is a seasoning that I make myself. It's great for everything Italian, but it also goes great on vegetables, roasted chicken, and potatoes. And you just let this saute for about 2 to 3 minutes, or until the onions get a little translucent, a little transparent. Okay, next I'm going to add some garlic. I have about 3 to 4 cloves of garlic here. I love garlic. You can add less if you don't like it that much. You can add more if you want more. And the garlic, you're just going to Stir until you smell it. You don't want to burn it or overcook it because it'll get bitter. And it doesn't take that long. It takes about maybe 20 seconds, 10, 20 seconds. Now the next thing I'm going to add, I have some Marzano tomatoes, but you can use any type of tomato. Sometimes I use crushed tomatoes, but the Marzano, they have a better flavor for the sauce. They're a little bit more expensive, but they're worth it. Okay, I'm also going to add a 1/4 cup of red wine. This is a Merlot, but you can use whatever wine you like. And I'm also adding a 1/4 cup of balsamic vinegar. That's going to help with the sweetness as well. Sometimes your tomatoes can be kind of tart, but that gives you a natural way to sweeten it up instead of using sugar. Okay, last thing I'm going to add, I'm going to take some chicken stock and I'm going to add probably about a cup, not too much. And a little bit of anchovy paste. You won't be able to taste it, but it brings great flavor to it. Okay, and we're going to cover this and let it simmer about 15-20 minutes until the vegetables get real soft, and then we're going to go to the next step. Okay, now that the tomato sauce is like simmering, we're going to brown our meat in another pan, because what's going to happen is that I'm going to use the immersion blender on this to blend all this together, but I want to do my meat in another pan because I don't want to do that immersion with my meat. So I'm going to put a little onion in here. And we're seasoning. When you season your food in layers. So I'm going to season my meat as well with a little bit of that Bella seasoning that I make. You can find it online. And also I'm going to take some fennel seeds. The fennel seeds give me that Italian sausage feel. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the fennel seeds and I'm going to kind of crush them up a little bit with my fingers just to get those oils going. And you'll be able to smell it. It smells so good when you put that fennel in there. And it gives you that Italian sausage feel without having that Italian sausage in there. So what I'm using today, I'm using ground beef. I'm using just a pound of it. So I'm going to brown my meat in this pan. And I'm also going to add my mushrooms to this pan as well. And just make sure you break up your meat because you want that meat to be not in chunks. And you want to make sure it's brown all the way through. And once we get this, the meat brown and the mushrooms cooked down, we'll be right back. So let's check on our sauce. It's looking good. all the flavors are merging together. We're gonna let it simmer just a little bit more before we use the immersion blender to blend all those flavors. It doesn't look like a sauce right now, but once I use that immersion blender, you're gonna see how it transforms. Okay, so now your sauce is simmering. We're going to take the pasta out of the bag or the plastic wrap, whatever you're using, and we are going to make our pasta. So what I usually do is I take the dough and I put it in fours. Be easier to handle in fours instead of trying to do all of it at one time. So I'll take one piece and kind of just roll it out with my hands. But I'm not going to manually roll my pasta out today. I'm gonna save me a little time, and I'm gonna use my blender attachment. Let's just say it like that. So I make this as thin as I can. And what I do is put this on the first setting, and I'm gonna show you how many times that we're gonna go through each setting. So we're gonna turn this on. I've turned it on the low setting, make sure it's locked. And what you're gonna do is just let it feed on through. This is on the first setting. And then I'll fold it and put it through that setting again. Couple more times. Then I'm gonna take it to setting 2, which is gonna make it thinner. Take it through a couple more times. Make sure you got it with your hands. Now I'm gonna take it to setting 3. Do the same thing. Each time the pasta is getting thinner and thinner. Okay, setting 4. And I usually get up to setting 6. But if it starts getting too thin, I may stop before then. Yeah, this one's getting thin, so I might not make it to 6. I may just make it to 5. Okay, it's getting real thin on me. So I'm gonna stop right there. And this is my first pasta sheet. And I'm just gonna place it on the parchment paper. And if it hangs over, it's okay. And I'm gonna do the same thing to the rest of my pieces. So now all of our sheets are out. If they get too long, you can cut them in half. Try to make them the same size, but if they're not, it's okay. So I have my sheets here, and what I'm getting ready to do is I'm getting ready to remove this attachment, which is my attachment to actually roll the dough out, and I'm gonna put my fettuccine attachment on. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing, but as you can see, once you put your pasta through here, it's gonna turn it to fettuccine. So I'm gonna turn it on. And I turn it on the low speed. And you're gonna slowly feed it in, but make sure that you're guiding it with your hand so it won't get stuck. There you go. And here's our fettuccine. So I'll just take it and kind of curve it onto my parchment paper and do the next one. Making sure that you continue to feed it through, because if you don't, it will stop like that. And here are our feta cheese slices. And we're going to go through and do the rest of them, and we'll be right back. Okay, so now the pasta is ready. We got that sitting and waiting for our sauce. So let's check on it. So here's our sauce. It's coming together nicely. But what we're getting ready to do, we're getting ready to use this immersion blender to bring it all together. Make it smooth and consistent. If you like it chunky, you don't have to, use the blender as much. But I like to blend all my flavors together, so I kind of make it smooth. So I'm gonna lean this pot over just a little bit. Use my immersion blender to actually blend everything together and make everything smooth. And I usually start on low. As you can see, the sauce is coming together. And you scrape all those chunks down to make sure you get all of them. So I used to do this to make sure my boys ate their vegetables. They never knew it was in here. I had my carrots, my celery, my onion in here. They never knew. Okay. Now I'm going to add my meat mixture to my sauce. I'm just going to stir it in as it simmers. Stir all that in. It looks delicious and it smells even better. So I'm gonna let this simmer together and let this meat mixture marry that tomato mixture. And then we're going to drop our pasta in the water. We'll be back. Okay, so now we're getting ready to make our fresh pasta. We're getting ready to cook it actually. So I have some water here boiling. And what you want to do, you want to salt your water. I always let my water boil first before I salt it, because it seems like it takes so much longer for it to boil when I put the salt in it. So I'm gonna put the top back on it and let it come back to a rapid boil. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take the pasta and I'm gonna put it in a little by little. I might put 2 in at a time because I don't want it all to clump together. But it doesn't take long for all of this pasta to get done. It only takes maybe a minute, if that. So you need to kind of test your pasta to see the I guess texture of it, to see if you like it. But I cook mine maybe 30, 45 seconds. It doesn't take long at all. So let me show you how easy it is. Now, water is boiling rapidly. We're gonna put our pasta in there. And let it break up. And you may have to use your pasta utensil to kind of unravel a little bit as it's in the water. All right. So I'm gonna place the pasta over here. We're gonna do the rest of the batches little by little so they won't stick together.